Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Hello. Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrooter.com from recent purgatory and YouTube hell. Cheers. Yes, I was on bad behavior for don't quite know what, but YouTube wasn't happy with me, so they put me in a timeout for 1 week, and I am back. But what they didn't understand is that when I post on something like BitChute, I can say whatever I want. And I did. So I highly recommend you guys going to the BitChute Road to Ruta channel, checking out the 5-6 videos that I put up, because I can talk about things there that is censored in the leftist criminal organization known as Google/YouTube. Anyway, I'm back. I will try to control my language. You know what the funny thing is, and the pathetic thing is, on YouTube, before you post a video, you have to click that there's nothing wrong with it, and then they check it. And the video I got in trouble for, they already had approved. I mean, is that entrapment or what? Hey, there is no more law in the United States of America, and I talk about that in the videos that I posted. So go over to Road to Ruta, BitChute, check those out. I just posted on the private road. I did even more stuff. I just posted a discussion with our good friend Dick Allgaier called Death, Cryptos, and the Allgaier Indicator and Remote Viewing the Coming Monetary Chaos. And he shows us one of the pictures he did in the remote viewing. We also talk about the gold in the Grand Canyon and all kinds of stuff. That's a great discussion there. And then I just yesterday talked to Penny Kelly, and I'll be putting that on the private road as well. I can't put it on YouTube, obviously, for the obvious reasons that are obvious. Okay, moving on. Silver price is getting rigged today. This is what I've been waiting for. You can tell it's an official rig. Look at it. Today is going to be probably the biggest volume of rigging in a long time. So if you go over and you watch silver and you check out the amount of contracts it takes to rig the prices, this is 100% computer controlled. There's a reason the shape looks so smooth. It's just click of a mouse. I've been screaming it since 2007 when I found out Alan Greenspan wrote the first computer programs in the 1960s and 70s to rig the markets for the Fed, the Treasury. They control that button. The end game for silver manipulation is going to be hugely high volumes, and then the COMEX is going to shut down, be destroyed. The volumes have been pretty damn weak for the past past year, truthfully. And today looks like we could reach 500,000 or 500 million or maybe even 1 billion ounces traded today to get the price so low. This is high frequency trading programs going back and forth with each other, the banks, run by Vinny Viola of Virtu Financial, out of the COMEX, the LBMA, it doesn't even matter, but out of the COMEX. And then those that they have to settle, they transfer over to the LBMA so it can't be seen how much silver is being taken off the market. Again, if you're on the road to Ruta, you know who I think is taking all this silver. Ultimately, it would be Warren Buffett out of the banker's hands. Bravo, Mr. Buffett. And then I think ultimately he'll give it back to the people of the United States as his parting gesture, fulfilling his father's dreams of getting us back to a sound monetary system. That's where we're headed. This is a huge sign that the end of this round of silver manipulation is ending when volumes pick up like this. I mean, these are right here. These are huge volumes. You look at the 5-day, and this day just started. And look at that chart. So it's just starting, and we're right down here. Load up on physical silver, as much physical silver as you can get. If you don't, go to your local coin shop, back the truck up and say, throw everything you got in the truck. If you don't have your own guy, give Miles Franklin a call. They've helped out many Road to Ruta people get their hands on the real thing. Send them an email, info at milesfranklin.com, or call them 800-822-8080. They will help you get your hands on some metal. They are also the sponsor of the Roadshow. Roadshow tickets are going fast. Guys, we got limited seating in this stuff, so if you want to go see us when we're on the road, go to roadtoruta.com, click on Roadshow, And those are the dates. And the places: Sonoma, Salt Lake City, Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis, Austin, Oklahoma City. Come to any one you want and participate in this the Freedom Show. This is about freedom, about personal sovereignty, about taking the power away from the banking cabal, away from the deep state. Go check it out. Come visit us on the road. There's a documentary there on the page when you go to click on Roadshow at roadtoroad.com. Come on, come out with us. All right. So yes, as you can tell, silver is obviously rigged. The CFTC is one of the regulators. The CME is CME owns the COMEX, owns this criminal exchange. They're a self-regulating entity, meaning that they're supposed to regulate themselves. It's kind of like the banks. The banks are self-regulated by the Federal Reserve first, and then you have all the federal government type of regulation. But the CFTC is a regulator of commodity derivatives, and they just hired 4 new commissioners. You might think they're clueless. 2 of them, I think, are, but the other 2, one comes from J.P. Morgan, the other comes from Citibank. Yeah, I know. So, talk about the fox guarding the henhouse, but we've been through this so often. The regulators are all captured, 100%. Gary Gensler, the SEC, head of the SEC, he gets put as the head of the SEC when he was the head of the CFTC, when J.P. Morgan is now getting busted for silver and gold manipulation. So apparently, if you allow the criminals to do criminal activity while you are in charge of that organization that's supposed to be regulating them, you get promoted to the SEC. So you can do the same thing there, assist in the manipulation of gold, silver, and especially cryptos. Gary Gensler knows the deal. I'm not saying he's a dumb guy. I'm saying he is 100% captured by the controllers controlling the system. He's going to do anything and everything, illegal or legal, to stop the spreading of freedom and free economic activity in the United States of America. You want to know why we're falling down? It's because we don't have free markets. That's the number one thing. In a world with free markets, we wouldn't have this insanity. We need no regulators. I was watching the Anarchapulco. So I used to go to Anarchapulco every year, down Jeff Berwick's deal, anarchism, anarchy meaning living without the threat of government over your head, not the bombs and all that chaos in the streets. That's not true anarchy. Anarchy is living without the government boot on your neck. I used to go to that conference. They made a documentary of it, and it's a 6-part documentary. They posted the first part. It's on HBO called I think it's called The Anarchist or something to that effect. Really interesting. I mean, I loved it. And I remember giving a couple speeches down there about the need for no regulators. The only way to get back to free markets and true freedom is to get rid of the regulators, because all the regulators do is run cover for the criminal manipulation of markets. In a world with no regulators, no one would participate in criminal exchanges. No one would be on the COMEX, which would be a great thing because it would force exchanges to work on the up and up. COMEX would have closed decades ago. But because we have regulators, it gives them a false sense of security when you're in there trading. Not that your trade matters. No trades matter other than the top, a handful of banks that trade back and forth in the literally billions of ounces at times. I remember one day, on a single day, they traded 2 billion ounces of electronic silver. 2 billion over 2 years worth of production. And the CFTC had no problem with it. So the new commissioners at the CFTC, congratulations on allowing this manipulation so J.P. Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America can get rid of their short positions. And the faster this gets done, the faster we suffer the pain, and the faster they put silver at minus $40 like they did in oil, the faster we can move on to a free market. I do think a lot of the regulators will be called out and be tried for crimes, for covering up what, guys like Jeffrey Christian. He's not a regulator, but his company, CPM Group, was set up by Goldman Sachs to run cover for the manipulation of gold and silver. Jeffrey Christian is just the worst human being in the precious metals space, and has been for a very long time. calling anybody who said, "Oh, anybody who believes in the conspiracy of market rigging is a tinfoil hat lunatic," and all this bullshit. We've had to suffer through that asshole for 20 years. I have, and other people have had to suffer a hell of a lot longer. But he's just a shill for the deep state bankster criminals, and that's all his company is. So, well, there you go. And now it's being proven in court. There, if you go to the BitChute Road to Ruta page, I talked yesterday about the Grim Reaper. Here he is right here, the Grim Reaper of silver manipulation, a guy named Michael Nowak. Michael Nowak was the head trader at J.P. Morgan Chase. He worked for a woman named Blythe Masters. Blythe Masters ran the whole commodity book of J.P. Morgan. And before that, she helped invent and start credit default swaps, which caused the 2008 crash. Pure manipulation, pure evil. And she takes her marching orders from Jamie Dimon, always has. She grew up at J.P. Morgan. So the criminality is off the charts. J.P. Morgan I think they have 5 felonies against that bank, and they're still allowed to operate. They're still allowed to be the largest holder of physical silver for SLV. They are the custodian of the SLV silver, even though all their traders are being indicted on RICO charges, which is racketeering charges, colluding with banks such as Deutsche Bank and Citibank and Bank of America. They all work together, and this is proven in court. And now they're hanging 3 traders out to dry because that's what happens. The big guys stay and continue the con, and the little guys go to jail. Not that Nowak was a little guy. I mean, if you run a book that controls 70-80% of the silver on the planet, you're a big guy. I want to know who he was working with over at Trafigura and at Glencore to facilitate these rig jobs. J.P. Morgan was fined $920 million, the largest fine in history for rigging gold and silver markets and the treasury market. $920 million, the largest fine in commodity history, before Trafigura was busted like 6 months later for rigging the oil markets. Paid over $1 billion in fines. And they were working together. My friends, this is the game. And this is what we have to get rid of and get done with and over with. And I think that day is coming very, very soon. Litecoin Lisa, go check out Litecoin Lisa's channel. She has some intel through some spiritual people, shall we say, that we are coming. September is going to be the be all or end all for gold and silver to have it in your hand, because you're not going to be able to get it for a while. That's why I want to scream at everybody, because people say, Bix, they're going to put silver to minus $40. Why wouldn't I just buy then? Because you're not going to be able to get any. The price on the COMEX is a lie. Everything is a lie these days. Everything is a lie. But you can protect yourself. Get yourself some physical silver in your own possession. Swap all your gold for physical silver. That's the no-brainer of a lifetime. I think it's around 85, probably 90 to 1 or 90. Let's find out the gold-silver ratio actually right now, because it's important. Gold-silver ratio should be 1 to 1 because there's 6 billion ounces of each on the planet right now. But let's take a look at the gold-silver ratio. There we go. 92 to 1. For every ounce of gold you have, you can swap them for 92, well, minus commissions, say 86, 87 ounces of silver. When silver's more valuable than gold, by far. The only thing that doesn't prove that is the price. Everything else, it's coming out of the ground at 7 to 1. All the gold in the world is just being added on to every time they mine an ounce of gold, they stick it in a vault. Silver is being depleted and used in everything more and more. We are living in an electronic universe, and the best conductor of electricity by far is silver, not gold. I was reading someone saying that gold's a better conductor of electricity. It is not true. Silver's the best conductor of electricity. Gold has its uses. Yeah, it's used in electronics up in space because it doesn't corrode. Gold, I mean, the concept of, the gold-silver ratio was set by what they had in the ground. Keith Neumeyer has said now it's coming out at 7 to 1. But comparing 7 to 1 to 16 to 1 or 12 to 1 back in the day, 100 years ago, it's not an apples to apples comparison, because back then silver was used as money, and then it just started to get into electronics. Now the vast majority is used in other industrial uses. So the actual real monetary ratio of gold to silver should not be 90 to 1, 92 to 1. It should be reversed. I would not be surprised to see gold and silver reverse positions, say 2 to 1. 2 ounces of gold will buy 1 ounce of silver. That's how skewed these markets are. That's why you see bullshit like this that is allowed by the banking cabal. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that waterfall chart. Welcome to America. Your tax dollars pay for this shit. Throw these criminals in jail. Shut down the comics. Or at least tell the people what's going on. Because you're lying, you're cheating, you're stealing. Every single person who has touched an ounce of silver is touched by this manipulation. And it's been going on for way too long. And it's been proven time and time and time again. These guys will fry. Tens of thousands of times instances of them rigging the silver market. This guy, Michael Nowak, it wasn't him though. He got his marching orders from Blythe Masters, who got him from Jamie Dimon and him and his friends who collude together to control quadrillions of dollars. Jamie Dimon said there's over $5 trillion a day that goes in and out of their money center, the JP Morgan Money Center in Florida. And he said that like 10 years ago. 5 trillion. This is JP Morgan, I think, has 3 trillion in assets. And yet they're playing with 5 trillion a day. And we had to bail them out in 2008, and we're going to have to bail them out again because, we can't have you lose your 401k or your checking account or your savings account. But if JP Morgan goes down, you're going to lose everything. And their derivative book just increased by over $10 trillion in the first quarter of this year. $10 trillion in the first quarter. At some point, you just got to laugh and say, I'm out of the system. I'm getting my silver in my own possession. I have a good chunk of cryptos for the future. A little bit of cash just to survive for a few months of chaos. And you sit in your lawn chair and you wait for this shit to go through. That's where we are. Inflation going through the roof. The latest inflation numbers. The PPI just came out, the Producer Price Index. It's at 11.3%. So producers are having to pay 11.3% more than they did the year before. And these numbers are a fucking lie. Look at the numbers. Graphics for economic releases. So this is the Consumer Price Index. This is the CPI. This is what they'll say. They just released it yesterday, which is 9.1. They lie about everything. And I'm like, wait a minute. Energy went down and this went up. And what is going on here? I've been digging into the numbers. It's a complete lie. The whole thing is a complete lie. John Williams with Shadow Stats been screaming that for so long. And I agree, but his numbers are like double what the government's telling us. He's more like 18, 19% right now. And they're telling us 9.1. But even their numbers, look at this. Their number right here in all categories is 9.1%, right? But look at food and energy, the number one things we need to live, 1 and 2. Food's up 10%. Food's up 10%. But look at energy's up 41% over the year. And that means basically these two most important things, they barely even count them. Everything is in this number here. But if you drill down, like commodities less food and energy, this is 7.2%. But click in here and everything is like commodities less food and energy commodities. What the hell is that? Like new vehicles and let's go back to that. Click the scroll down. You drill down to this stuff and everything is even higher than what they're telling you. Look at apparel, up 5%. Commodities less food and energies, up 11%. Used trucks, 7%. Medical, 3%. This is just crazy shit. And they come up with where CPI should be is if they use the same metrics from 1990, which Clinton changed all the metrics, by the way, to hide what was really going on. It should be 18%. Even at 9%, that's when Paul Volcker came in and raised rates to 10%. Fed funds rates. Can you imagine what would happen in the housing market at 10%? It wouldn't even exist anymore. We have massively more debt that every raise in the interest rates is destroying the system. And now they're saying they're going to raise a full point in July. Why do you think JP Morgan put on $10 trillion in new derivatives? I'll bet you they're going to end up with an extra $100 trillion. Why not put a quadrillion in derivatives? Where is the point where enough is enough? It is crazy. Interesting article on Zero Hedge. Here comes the violent summer of soaring dollar disconnect. Everything is disconnected. In a climate of rising inflation, particularly of energy and food, and global central banks in tightening mode, a political crisis is never far away. Sri Lanka has been one of the most predominant examples of the recent default of foreign debt, as its president, I can't say that name, fleeing the country yesterday has been one of the most prominent examples. Bad economic policy, the COVID-19 shock, and ultimately the global food and energy crisis resulting in serious shortages tipped the country over the edge. Protests broke out in Libya earlier this year, where rising cost of living problems were cited as one of the reasons. According to FAO stats, a staggering 29.4% of the world's population was facing moderate or severe food insecurity in 2020, a figure which probably did not improve in the recent years. But the crisis in Sri Lanka also points to broader risks stemming from currency volatility. For one, the strong dollar has its mirror image in a sharp depreciation of currencies around the world. They can't even buy anything. The market rigging of the US dollar is destroying other countries. There is no free market anything anymore. It is 100% rigged. And this will not end well. And the Fed knows it. And the Fed, I think they're trying to fall on the sword. Take the whole system down. We've soaked up all the benefits we could use. We build our ridges, our roads, our military. We've flooded the United States with affordable housing. Flooded it. None of this would have been available had we not run this unbacked fiat monetary scam for at least since the 70s, but I would say back to 1913. And it's all falling apart, and they knew it. So what do you do in the end? This goes back to what Ruta wrote in the sand in the Road to Ruta comic books. She wrote an economic formula called On the Road to the Golden Age, to get from an unbacked fiat monetary system completely out of control to a gold standard. The best way to do it is print as much money as possible and hold it for as long as possible, building your roads and bridges. And in the end game, you're the largest debtor nation in the world, which is the United States is, and then you pull the plug. Yeah, nobody will trade with us, but China's cutting us off anyway. Keep an eye on China. Putin's done his job. Now it's Xi over in China is going to pull the plug on the United States. This was all part of the plans, my friends. I talked to Penny Kelly about that. We have a great discussion, especially about dreams. I had a dream that I'm going to go over with Jenny Moonstone today. It's going to blow your mind about the whole Twitter thing and Elon and the bots. They're going to court now, by the way, which means discovery, which means he gets to dig in and see who made the bots and what were they saying. God bless America on that one. All right, for all you XRP lovers, former crypto advisor Michael Barr confirmed as the U.S. top financial watchdog. The Senate approved the appointment of Barr, an ex-Ripple advisor who served in Obama's Treasury Department as the Fed's new vice chair for supervision. If you XRP people are loving this, because if he gets in, yeah, they're going to try to speedball XRP as the solution. Might happen, might not. I don't know. I don't play with XRP. I'm not a fan of banks in general. So I'm never going to invest in XRP. But for you investors in XRP, this is the best news you can ever hear. Now, do I think the government will stay intact after a monetary collapse? Absolutely not. This guy will be out on his ear, along with Gary Gensler and the banks. So there'll be no need for XRP. But if they're going to try to string it along, this is your guy, all you Ripple people. This is your guy. All right, that's what I got for you. Don't forget, please come out and see us on the road. Get your tickets ASAP. We're playing, again, Sonoma, Salt Lake City, Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis, Austin, Oklahoma City. First show's in Sonoma. If you're Northern California people, come on up to Sonoma on Sunday. I think it starts at 4 o'clock. If you go to the roadshow, go to roadrooter.com, click on the roadshow, and then scroll all the way down. You'll find each location, the time, and the place. So you click on Sonoma. We will be playing at the Real and Brand, same place we played at the first time, from 4 to 7 on Sunday. Tickets are only $25 a piece. Really fun time. And hang out with like-minded people. You want to know what the Roadshow's all about, just go click on Roadshow and watch part of that documentary or watch the whole thing. It's really cool. Come check us out. If you want to join the Road to Ruta, get access to all this stuff, the Dick Allgaier discussions, the Penny Kelly discussions, what I'll be putting up, I think today, I'll be putting up is a 2-part discussion with Penny. Amazing stuff about the future of our country, where it's going. And then Jenny, I'm speaking with later today. We're going to talk a lot about Twitter, my friends. We're gonna unpack that conspiracy. So go check us out. Go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today. And for every 1-year subscription, we send 1 silver Ruta coin, the coolest coin ever made. Penny was talking about the Ruta coin and the meaning of the heart and how important it is. And that's what I thought. That was my take. So I had Paige paint a red heart on every single coin we put out. It's a lot of work, but it comes from love. And the future is about love. And we do have a glorious potential. We just got to fight for it and work for it. So join the private road, and we'll send you a Road to Ruta coin mailed right to your front door. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Back on YouTube. I'll talk to you later. Oh, like and subscribe. I'll talk to you.